It's here. It's working. I'm catching up on laundry. These are the towels that were in when the old one died. And look how well it's working. Okay, we'll stop for now and we'll go into the other room, okay? And before I sit down, I'll just show you the front of the jumper, which I finished yesterday at Knitting Group. Lots of starts and stops there. Hi everyone. The washing machine is here. I am so happy. I'm so happy. They actually got here about 12 and then they were finished in 15 minutes. It's all, obviously they plumbed it, connected it all up and everything's fine and dandy. Annie, she has small dog syndrome. Well, the doorbell goes and she's like a Rottweiler. Now let's make ourselves big and bark a lot. And she's in the garden. I swear she can hear me talking about her. Bless her heart. Anyway, I thought I'd put her in the crate when they arrived, because otherwise she'd be killing them by licking them and getting under their feet and everything. I thought it was safer. Well, you'd have thought she was having all 4 paws cut off. Bark, 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 bark. Oh, I was like, oh God, I can't stand this, Lord. So I got her out and I held her, and then she shut up magically. And then she could say hello to the men, and she could give them a lick with the hands and everything, and she was fine. So, of course, since then she's been completely chilled out. She's in the garden right now, sniffing for whatever she thinks she can sniff for, and chasing flies and butterflies. Bless her heart. It's another hot day here today. It's Thursday. It's just after 2, about 10 past 2. I put my hair all, well, it was all back just because it feels cooler. But in fact, I'll have to take this off because I'm getting a headache. So, or maybe I'll leave it in and just take some paracetamol. But yes. So, as you saw, I finished the front of the jumper yesterday. I cast on the, hold on just a minute. I cast on the first sleeve and I got the rib done. The next row is increasing and then it's change size of needles and start doing the sleeve proper. Get in the tin. So that's good. Yesterday, well, as I said, we had Knitting Group. The funeral went fine. It was great. I was on door duty, which is fine. And I know it's stupid, but as people were coming in, they were just congregating right around the door. And I'm very short, really. And they seemed very tall. And, you know, I was starting to get claustrophobic and jittery. So I thought, right, so I stood outside the door like a hotel doorman, you know. And, yeah, eventually they all left and went into the sanctuary and the funeral went ahead. And, yeah, I didn't stay for refreshments. I'd been out since 20 past 9 I left. And by the time I was home, it was 4. So I thought, poor little girl's been on her own quite long enough, and do I need to deal with all these crowds of people to get a sandwich and a cup of tea? And I thought, so I came away But I had told somebody beforehand that I was doing that, so it didn't seem rude. I'm debating whether to tell you this or not. Somebody at church got upset with me. And I said to Ian, you know, was I rude? Was I demanding? Did I? And he said, no, it's her problem. But isn't it amazing? You get a group of people in church and they're so touchy sometimes. You know, I can be a bit sensitive, but not at something like that. But anyway, what happened? Wednesday night, about 8:30, I got a phone call from a lady who lives literally just down the road from us, asking if I was going and could she have a lift. And I said, well, yeah, I can come and get you, but because I'm on door duty, it's going to be really early, about an hour before the service even starts. Oh, well, I can't do that, she said, because I've got to have my lunch and my medication. I said, okay. I said, you definitely want to come to the church for the service? And she said, yes. So I said, leave it with me. I'll see what I can do. So I made a phone call to this lady who I knew was coming into the village to pick up another lady. And I just said, oh, no, hiya, how you doing? I understand you're picking up so-and-so for the service tomorrow. And she said, yes. And I said, I don't suppose there's any chance you could pick up another lady. And said, I offered to do it for her, but she can't come at the time because I'm on board, you know. And she said, you know, if you can't, that's fine. But I just wondered. Anyway, she said, yeah, no problem. I'll pick her up. I'll pick her up first and then go and get the other lady. I said, fine. I got to church for knitting group and we were there at 20 to 10 because I picked up another lady and took her down with me. And she said, I need to talk to you. I said, okay. And we went off to make coffees and that for the knitters. And she said, I felt extremely put upon by you last night. I said, why? Well, just because I have a car, you assumed that I would be able to do this lift for this person. And I know I've said yes, and I've spoken to her and said yes, but no, I'm not going to do it. And I was like, oh no. And Ian was a bit cross with me because I apologised profusely. And then I had to call this lady to say that so-and-so couldn't pick her up after all. Is there any chance she could get a taxi down and then I would take her home? And she said, I can't afford a taxi. Well, I mean, yeah, they are a bit expensive, I suppose. So then she said, I'll ring another friend and see if she can bring me. But as it turned out, she didn't come. She wasn't at the funeral. And now I've got this other lady. I did speak to the pastoral care leader. And I told her what had happened and that I'd sort of upset so-and-so when I didn't mean to, da-da-da-da-da. And she did make me laugh. She said, oh, don't worry about it. She's South African. She's a bit weird. Now, I never thought of South Africans as being weird, and I'm sure they're not weird at all. But it was just the way this... She said to me, don't worry about it. She's South African. She's weird. And I thought, oh, my goodness. That did make me laugh. So that, I mean, I could have cried when this woman was sort of having her go. I don't know what they're doing next door. It sounds good. And anyhow, that was yesterday. And I was done in. When I got home, I was done in. And Ian didn't get home till 8. We watched some TV, and that was it for Thursday. England's through to the knockout rounds. We're in the last 16. I wonder what you think. You know, I should tell you about these necklaces that I'm always playing with. They're both crosses. Hold on, let me see if I can get one of them. This little tiny one, I'm going to try and get it closer so you can see it. That was given to me when I was about 23 by my aunt. No, I wasn't 23, I was 28. She gave me that, and I've worn it ever since. It was a gift when I got married to the American who wasn't very nice. So I wear that all the time, and it makes me think of my Auntie Dot. Now this one was a complete and utter surprise. When I worked in the supermarket, it was about the time my mum died, and they got a new manager into the shop, and he was French and very much into young people, really young people, like teenagers still, working in the shop. And he just systematically went through and got rid of all the older people on the checkouts. And I knew it was coming. And also I knew it was coming because my immediate manager she still is a practicing witch. And of course, I'm not a witch, I'm a Christian. And so the two of us were never going to agree on spiritual things, but she wanted me out. And anyway, they gave me notice. And a lady came through my checkout. She'd always come through. And I told her that I wouldn't be seeing her again here because I've lost my job, da-da-da-da-da-da. And she said, oh no, I'm so upset. Anyway, she left. And about 10 minutes later, she came back to the till. And she wasn't buying anything. She wanted to talk to me. And she said, I know you wear a cross and have faith because you've got this one. And I said, well, yeah, I do. She said, well, my mother gave me this cross not long before she died, and I would like to pass it on to you. I've had it in my purse for years, she said, and it seems right I give it to you. So there you go. That's why I have 2 crosses on my gold chain, and that's why I fiddle with them so much. Well, it's not why I fiddle with them so much. I'm just a fidgeter. But anyway, that's the story behind them. Oh, what else have I got to tell you? Not much. Not much. All very quiet here. I was going to go to the shop today, but I cancelled because of the washing machine. And I'm glad I did, because now I can catch up with it and the laundry and get it out on the line and da-da-da-da. So that's that. And I think actually that's all for today. I'm looking around to see if there's anything else that I can tell you about that's interesting. And there's not. Basically, I live a very quiet sort of life. What is it that the character that Meg Ryan said in You've Got Mail is a little life. So I don't do very much exciting, but when I do, it's a big one. I made half of the people in church laugh yesterday. I said I was going to do a sponsored silence. And they went, huh, and burst out laughing. But I think I might. And I know who I'd do it for too. If it all comes to pass, I'll tell you about it. And in the meantime, I'm going to go and do something so exciting. I'm going to change the bed linen. Because now I've got a washing machine that I can wash it in. Yay. Doesn't take much to please me, does it? Okay, my lovelies. You take care now. All right. Bye for now.